Hello, hello, hello. If you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I love to hang out here on YouTube, usually twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I walk my fellow survivor thrivers through the healing journey, through my book, Releasing Your Authentic Self, one day, one page at a time. Sometimes it feels like one moment, one breath at a time. But if you're curious about the coaching that I offer and would like to learn more, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com, where you can learn more about my own healing journey and also where and how I offer support to others. But here on our live stream, hello, hello, hello. If you're here with me live, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here so I can welcome you. Glad to be here with you today. And also, if you are catching up, you will see that we chit chat for a little bit here. We catch up, and then we dive deep. So I hope you join the conversation. And of course, if you have any questions about healing, recovery, please bring them here. And if I don't know the answer, I will turn it over to the community. There's lots of wisdom in this space here. So, hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing today, my friend? I had a little challenge coming on. So good to see you. How are you doing? I had to restart YouTube twice. So, hey, Lady Leo, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Glad that you're here. How are we doing today? We always start there, right? Come as you are. How are you feeling? How are you doing? And yes, if things may be hard, please, it's okay to share honestly where you're at and how you're feeling. And also, we celebrate here. So please, what's new and good? What's new and good? Hey, Rachel, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. How are you? I don't know about you guys, but it's been raining cats and dogs over here in Portland, Oregon. I think I saw EJ's share that it doesn't look favorable for the move coming up, does it, EJ? You said there's rain in your forecast? I have to say, I'm ready for a little bit of sunshine. You're doing good today? Excellent. Glad to hear that, Rachel. Glad to hear it. Oh, Lady Leo, she says, I'm so agitated and not sure why. So that's agitating you even more. Ooh, okay. Ugh, that's a hard feeling. That's a hard feeling. Hey, Beverly. Hey, friend. How are you doing? So I'm glad you're here with us, Lady Leo. Sometimes that agitation in our nervous system just makes us feel icky, makes us feel whatever we need to feel, right? So we welcome you. We are glad you're here with all that agitation. We are sitting with you. We are sitting with you. And maybe, and just maybe, you will feel the nervous system settle after a little bit, or maybe not. So, I can't stand when I feel this angry for no reason. I hear you. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Agitation. Interesting, actually, that I was just sorting through some of my papers. I regularly pull out. I have so much information about mindfulness, healing, trauma. You guys know, right? But today I pulled out this one because I like visuals. I'm a visual, tactile learner. I don't know about you guys, but this, some of you have seen this because if you did my the mindfulness course with me, you have, I don't know where this came from, but can you guys see this? This is in the lesson about acceptance. Does it look backwards for you guys? So down here we have duration. This just feels appropriate. Wanda, just to give you some feedback. And intensity, right? Here's the curve. All emotions are on a curve, like the wave on the ocean, right? Duration, intensity. This is an emotion. But what do we usually do when we start to feel our feelings? What's this? And what's another word for this? Any thoughts? Right? And that's exactly it, right? And again, come as you are, come with agitation, come with anger, come with frustration. It's okay. There's absolutely no judgment here, right? And the reason I'm showing you guys this, it's like, how can we just be with it? To know that that feeling is going to work its way through. Okay, it's peaked and it's stuck. Okay, so do you know that's the peak? Right, Lady Leo? I'm just challenging you a little bit, right? I'm happy to give you some reminders around anger, how to release anger energy out of your body if you're looking for that. But I'm also just like, anybody else here, right? Rachel says resistance leads to frustration. So how can we accept the frustration? This feels really frustrating. This is very frustrating. I don't like this frustration. Okay, any matter, I'll bite the head of a snake. Okay, so I hear you. I absolutely hear you, Elizabeth. So hold on, Wanda. I'm going to invite you to open up your hands wide. We're just going to see if we can help you top it off a little bit. Open your hands wide, stretch your, and then lay your hands down on your lap like that. Or hold your hands out. Really stretch out the palms. And just notice. I don't know about you, I can feel the energy already moving out of my hands just by doing this. Anybody else? Feeling any agitation, any frustration? Changing the state of our bodies sometimes can help us a little bit. Just a thought, my friend, Lady Leo. Just a thought. Because I also just want to suggest that maybe you have a very good reason to feel angry. Maybe you have a very good reason for feeling upset, right? If you and I were having a private conversation, I could name up a handful of things that would validate your reality right now. Abso-freaking-lutely. Anybody else here? There's a lot happening around us that gives cause for anger, for outrage, right? So absolutely. And that's good. Outrage and anger is usually what pushes us to set boundaries with people, right? Unless we tip anger into, if it goes the other way, then sometimes we turn it on ourselves. But anger is definitely the energy that pushes us, that moves us forward. So I do not want to invalidate your feeling, but I'm hoping to give you a little way to release, So just sit with it, Lady Leo, for a minute. Just sit with it for a minute, my friend, and repeat, right? This is a hard feeling. I am angry. I am outraged. Of course I'm angry. Of course I'm outraged. Right? And this isn't just your anger, my friend, you're feeling, right? Most of us carry generational challenges of feeling big feelings that no one has felt before. And then when we live in a culture where us showing our feelings is not acceptable, right? When there's risk involved in showing our outrage. So I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here. Because now we as a community are holding you. We hear you, we see you, we totally get it. We totally get it. And I won't even try to pretend that I know, Lady Leo, how outraged you are, how angry you are. I can feel my emotions behind this. Just like, if I can hold space for you to make it safe for you to feel that, I would. I would. And I'm doing my best here, right? So anybody else feel the same way about understanding why Lady Leo might feel angry right now? Because I bet, I know I'm not alone sitting here understanding you and why you are feeling angry. And if anything, I want to thank you for being honest. I hear you, Beverly. I hear you. I know she's just using that as a reference, just as a reference. And I think, on top of, what we're seeing around us, for women, it's not okay to be angry. It's not okay to be outraged. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Beverly. Exactly. Thank you, EJ. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, we want to honor each other's truth, and we get it. We get it. So, Lady Leo, I do hope you have a safe place to express that, right? So you can get it out and not in. Out better than in. So, Elizabeth, I wanted to show you the other side of this graph, right? This is often what we do to, we when we're feeling our feelings, right? When we are just feeling a little bit of intensity, we start to control it because we don't know, we don't trust the process. This is the process. There's a peak and then it comes down, right? So when we try to control it and shut it down and resisting it, then we spend an enormous amount of energy here instead of over time learning to practice acceptance. Right? Learning that the intensity, it's going to go up and then it always comes down. It always, 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 always. The law of gravity, right? If it goes up, it's going to come down, right? Yes, it's exhausting. And then we collapse because we're wiped out. We are wiped out. So this was right here on my table. So I was looking at this because I love to hold up visuals when I'm doing private sessions with my clients. I hear you, Lady Leo. I hear you. Absolutely. I understand. And that's part of, right, both accepting it and then you know, I don't know for you, right? For me, it was anger scared me because when someone got angry around me growing up, someone got hurt and I wasn't gonna hurt anybody, right? So I resisted expressing anger for a long time. But once I knew that I wasn't going to lose control, I wasn't going to hurt anybody. I wasn't like the person who hurt me or hurt others when they got angry. I was a very different person. But I had a lot of anger to process, to get out. Yes, exactly, Beverly. We need somewhere to be free, empty beach or mountain to shout it out. Yes, yes. And I have done a lot of anger work, anger processing, where we would get bats, plastic bats or padded bats, baseball bats, and someone in the group, two other people would hold a big pillow or like a punching bag, and then one person would get the bat and literally get to hit the bat. I mean, hit the punching bag. And I was very scared to do that in the beginning. I was terrified. But I learned, and I learned that I was very strong. I could, and with it, there was a lot of swearing, a lot of swear words that came out. There was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of 4-letter words, just like, ugh. I got to get out all the anger and the hurt and the frustration and the rage and all the things that I had wanted to say to all those people that hurt me or let me down. It was exhausting, but I was so relieved after. It's like that was like running a marathon. I was so exhausted after that, right? Tears and everything, sweat. Whew. Lady Leo says yes, because when I would get anger, I was very destructive to myself and others. I hear you. I hear you. That's what we do. That's what we do. That energy is so powerful. It needs a place to go. Energy is constantly looking for a place to go. There you go, EJ. Find a tree and a big stick. Yep. Take an axe to tree rots. Yes. Yes. Or go throw big rocks into the ocean or in the woods, or it feels so good to get that out. So I'm very, very sorry, Lady Leo, but again, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, my friend. Yes, Rachel, a punching bag would be helpful. Yep. Yep. I did a few years of anger work, emotional work, where I would regularly get to, I had a lot of things to be angry about. I had a lot of things to be outraged, right? My whole childhood. And every time I would get my anger out, I was validating my inner child, right? I hear you, EJ. Mold something with clay, throwing big globs against lockers. Yes. Yes. I hear you. I hear you. It is stored up pain. And I mean, when we are betrayed, and a lot of our pain is betrayal, when someone oversteps our boundaries, where someone that we know or trust or love, or in some way are related to or friends with, they harm us in some way, that brings about outrage, right? Someone is coming, right? It's a natural response in the body, right? Fight or flight. And when the adrenaline that gets pumped into your nervous system, the hormones that get pumped into your nervous system to either help you fight or flee, right? When that is left in your nervous system, it's stuck in there. That energy is stuck in there. Highly charged, powerful energy. It's in there. And then some of us, right, over the years, when we get triggered, what do? That fight or flight pattern shows up. Or for some of us, that was me, I was pushed into freeze and collapse, right? I know I can't fight, I can't flee, I'm collapsing. Then, Lady Leo, trust that this energy is coming through for a reason. Trust that it's coming through for a reason. Yes. I hear you, Donna. Yes. I understand. So, Lady Leo, I don't know if this feels right to you, but this was gonna be my next suggestion to process, is to give the anger a voice. Meaning, if you could sit down with a piece of paper and just start and say, I'm angry because, I'm angry at, I'm angry with, this anger is, and just see what comes. And just see what comes. It is not for anybody to see. It's just for this anger to have a voice to get out. So if you can just free write like that. Because for a lot of us, right? And also, Lady Leo, given what's going on in the world, and possibly this is your go-to, right? When your nervous system gets overwhelmed or tipped pretty high, which side do you lean on? Do you fight or do you flee? Which way do you usually go? What's your pattern? Mine was fleeing or collapsing. I was never the fighter. There was a few occasions when I was pushed to fighting. And because there's a pattern, right? We have a pattern. So, and instead of trying to figure out why, right? Exactly, Lady Leo. Exactly. To accept your nervous system. That's how your nervous system processes, highly charged energy, right? And the higher up we go, closer to freeze and collapse, right? The more explosive it feels. So, given what's going on in our world, my friend, I can imagine your nervous system is exhausted. And the less capacity we have to self-regulate, because we're all exhausted, but I'm just saying, Lady Leo, what's happening in the world, and right, we are close to exhaustion, right? It's like your nervous system is on high alert because has been an ongoing, especially right lately. So be gentle with yourself. If you can, with compassion, tell your body, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I hear you. I feel you. I understand. And this, right, the self-compassion, this is a hard feeling. This is a very hard feeling. And don't judge it. Yeah, I feel very angry right now. I'm sorry, Lady Leo. What you said here, hearing my family saying you don't have a reason to be mad, you're not a dog. Oh boy, were they wrong. You have a lot of reason to be angry. And yes, you're not a dog. Everybody has the capacity to be angry. And we needed to express it. We needed to be able to say no, no. So if you can, my friend, in this present moment, right? Recognizing, yeah, it's a little intense. Yes, it's gonna maybe stretch out a little bit, but I'm gonna allow myself to accept myself in this feeling. Accept this hard feeling. I could give you a long list of things of why you might be angry. Yeah. And that anger is needing to be heard and to be seen. While we also are navigating, right, our nervous system, right? Are we tipping into, right? Is this anger right here, right now? Is it triggering anger from the past? So I'm glad you're bringing it to us. Now we are holding it with you. We hear you, we see you, we accept you. Angry and all. Angry and all. I hear you, Rachel. She says, I typically freeze and panic. Yep, I hear you. I hear you. Thank you for sharing, Wanda. I appreciate that. I was going to turn here to the Facebook page. Let's see here. The topic of today, which is perfect right now. It's about being validated, having the right people to validate our truth. So to survive growing up in an abusive home, you might have had to deny the abuse that you witnessed or what you felt and experienced, or maybe not even abuse, but just neglect. You maybe had to numb and repress it, right? For many of us, this is our reality. This was my reality as a child. And then this was my truth, right? So an important part of the healing process is to accept this truth on a conscious level, right? We need to bring it up from underneath here where we've pushed it all down. We've controlled it because we weren't safe to do this. No one modeled or encouraged or supported us in safely expressing our feelings. So bringing it to a conscious level, right, is important and a very important part, right? If we're not aware of it, we can't heal it, we can't change it, we can't shift it, right? But so many of us, right, however, don't make the mistake of seeking validation for the reality of your past from the family that ignored it. You may be ready to heal, but that doesn't mean your parents, caregivers, siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, doesn't mean that they are. So the two questions I asked today: what happened the last time you made the mistake of seeking validation for the abusive reality of your past from your family? And what did you learn from that experience? And I know this one is really, really hard. This is for many of us something that we have to grieve. Not only are we taking a huge risk, speaking our truth, telling the truth about what happened to us as children, speaking about the abuse that we suffered, but then we also run the risk of being ostracized, being, ridiculed, being shamed, being pushed out of our families. And for many of us, we had to choose. Many of us come to that realization that in order to heal, we have to choose. That was certainly the point that I came to. And I realized I was never going to heal unless I divorced from my family. Like, I cut my family out of my life for a while because in the beginning of my healing journey, they absolutely denied it and made me feel crazy. Absolutely made me feel crazy. So it was hard. It was hard. And this is where, for us to find survivors, others, peers, support groups where we can come together because we understand. We can say, I believe you, I hear you, right? And you don't have to hide the truth from me. So slowly but surely, we find our voice. We find a way to tell our truth. But for me too, many, many times I tried to go back and get them to listen, get them to understand. It was very painful. Very painful. So let's see here. Lady Leo had given me permission to share her journal entry today. She says here, the first time I considered telling a family was over 30 years ago. When I started, I was met with, why do you want to discuss old stuff? So I made the decision at that time, my family would not be a part of my journey. What I learned from that experience was that in my family, we don't talk about hard things. We keep going as if everything is great and suffer in silence. So to date, I have only told 3 family members and have no need and or desire to share that part of the healing process with them. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I am so glad that you are here and sharing your healing journey with us, because you bring so much love and care and wisdom into our space. And we get it. We get it. Why bother, right? Why bother? But this was especially hard for my inner child. My inner child desperately wanted, I especially wanted my siblings to understand me. And then I kept making it mean something bad about me. Yes, we crave a family. Yes. Yes. And my little girl, my inner child, just like she did in childhood, it's like, well, if I just tell him it different, if I just use different words, or if I just try a different way, right? They will listen this time. No, no, no. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Wanda, for sharing. And I totally understand. And yes, you have come such a long way, and we are so glad that you're here. Yes. So let's see here. Sue S. also shared with us today. Sue S., I don't know if you're here, if you're driving. If you are, keep your eyes on the road. You're welcome. We appreciate you too, my friend. We appreciate you too. So Sue S. says, I made the mistake of seeking validation from my mother when she ended up in the hospital, and then a convalescent home with full-time caretakers. I suppose I thought maybe she'd had enough of a scare of dying and meeting God, so maybe she wanted to make amends. I could not have been more wrong, and she berated me for me wanting to discuss my childhood abuse with her. I suddenly felt I was that little girl all over again, listening to her spew her hatred over me or for me. It literally broke my heart and my spirit all over again, and I begged for mercy. So sorry, Sue. That is really, really hard. She goes on to say here, were my beliefs that she is truly evil really true? I had hoped that she had changed, but I was gravely mistaken. I just don't understand how she lives with herself But now she has Alzheimer's disease and lives in that bitter past every single day. Nothing has changed, and she's the same evil and twisted person she was so long ago. I now regret that I even still cared what happened to her, and that I was willing to sacrifice even more of myself to care for her. She doesn't deserve me, and I certainly don't deserve any more of her abuse or hatred. From this experience, I have learned I am so much better off without even giving her a second thought. She isn't worthy of my time and energy. I am working on healing myself and realize God will handle her in due time. The damage she did to my heart and spirit will take a great deal of effort and time on my part to heal, and I must not waste any more of my life worrying about how she feels about me. I will never receive the validation I seek, and know this must come from within me. I am better off without her, as well as those who do her bidding, and I deserve to be happy. Wow, Sue. I'm so, so sorry, sweet woman. I am so, so sorry. Yeah, she does not deserve your love. Yeah, she doesn't deserve you, period. Absolutely. And I'm so, so sorry. So, so sorry. That is really hard. But I also hear so much wisdom here. So much wisdom, my friend. And I'm glad that you are continuing on your journey, recognizing, right, that validation that you seek, find from people that you choose that are worthy of your time and energy and are worthy of your love, right? And that you're recognizing, right, that you can do that for your inner child. You can affirm her and validate her and remind her it was never her fault. She never did anything wrong. Not then, not now, not ever. And she may need to hear that for a long time, for a long, 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 long time. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really appreciate your beautiful heart, your beautiful presence. Exactly. Better you can now heal than if you've never had a chance. And Rachel says here, oh, yes, people think they can get away with things, but God sees everything and will hold them accountable. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe one way or another, the past catches up with people. Good or bad, it catches up with you. And I don't think we need to worry about those who did harm. I hear you, Elizabeth. She says, I work hard never to seek validation from anyone. I hear you. Absolutely, I hear you. We can sometimes go that way too. Absolutely. Just feeling the weight of that, Sue. Sweet, sweet woman. You're a miracle, my friend. You are. My heart just started singing for you. Mm. Sending you love. Sending you so much love. So thank you, my friends. Thank you too for sharing. I really appreciate it. And again, for myself, and I want to encourage all of you, if you are looking for someone that, and if you have that longing to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, right? I definitely recommend finding people like us, right? Where we understand, we can say that and we mean it and we know it. It's like we understand, we know where you've been, we know how it hurts, right? And we will believe you. We won't turn away from you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is hard. That is very hard. And there is hope too, my friends. I think you guys, some of you know, right? I mean, I cut my mom out of my life for about 5 years. I didn't talk to my siblings for about 15 years. And my mom is back into my life now. We have worked our way through a lot of this. And there's nothing now that I can't ask her about. And she has apologized and has many, many regrets for how she wasn't able to protect me when I was younger. And so I'm very, very grateful, to my mom for her being courageous and willing to hear the truth. And I know what it's like because I've had to be willing to hear the truth from my kids, because when they were babies, I wasn't able to be there for them in a way that they deserved. But I've made it my mission in life that for as long as they need me to listen to the things that I did or did not do for them that caused them harm, I am willing to sit and own it. Absolutely. Because that, I know, caused me so much struggle and pain for so many years. It literally made me feel crazy when you share something and then someone says to you, no, that didn't happen. It's just like, so I make it a point to validate my daughters and say, yes, you're right. That did happen. I remember. I was there and it was not your fault. It was me. It was my responsibility. I was the parent and I didn't know better. I didn't. Doesn't take away the hurt, right? And I encourage them to, to feel the hurt. And I've given them permission to be angry with me if the anger and outrage comes up, because we have those feelings as little kids. And I'm like, yep, I will hear it. I will listen, because this madness is going to stop here with me. I'm not going to pass it on anymore. So I feel a little emotional saying that, because it was not fun or pretty. It was very scary at times, but I wanted to do that. Thank you, Rachel. Yes, it has been. It's not perfect. I'm not best friends with my siblings, but we're respectful, and we can have a good time. But I'm fairly close with my mom at this point. We probably talk almost every day. And yeah, she's great. EJ says, not talking with my sis these days and try to talk at least as possible with my parents. Yeah, I hear you, EJ. I hear you. And working on that with my son right now. Good for you. Good for you. Absolutely. That's it. Once we have awareness, we can change things. And that's exactly what I set up here for our conversation in the beginning, right? If it's not in our consciousness, if it's not in our awareness, we can't change it. There's nothing I can do about it. I didn't know. But once I started understanding it and becoming aware of it, it's like, wait a minute. And especially when you learn how to change it, of course, I'm going to do the best I can. It's going to be hard, not fun or pretty, but I was invested in my relationships with my kids, and I was going to do whatever I can to heal that, to restore that. So, and they're very sweet. My adult daughters, all three of my kids, there's nothing we don't talk about. Sometimes it's like, okay, we're gonna talk about this over dinner. Okay, I guess so. I sometimes feel like I know too much, but I'd rather know too much than too little about what's going on in their lives. So there's nothing they know there's nothing I won't, listen to. So and hear them about. So it is. It is. It is. And they're my teachers. I've learned so much from them. I've learned so much from them. And I think it's that mutual respect. I respect them and they respect me. So, yep, it is good to be open. I worked way too hard to open my heart than to close it back down. So, it's better to be open, trusting, loving, curious. Oh, I hear you, Beverly. You and all of us, right? You and all of us. So, my friends, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for holding a safe space for our hard feelings today, all of you, right? It takes a village for us, right? To support each other, to remind each other. And especially during the hard stuff. We need a community shoulder to shoulder, sitting around the fire together, right? This is it. This is the healing process, talking it through, feeling it through, processing it through. This is it. Instead of resisting it, it's going to get intense, but it's going to come back down. I promise. I promise. And today, our card for the day. One day she woke up and decided to simplify. That's right, EJ. Shoulder to shoulder, 6 feet apart. So there it is, my friend. Keeping it as simple as possible. This healing journey in life is hard enough. It's complicated enough, right? So let's simplify. All right, sweet friends, I will not be here on Thursday, but I will be in Facebook tomorrow and Friday. So yes, thank you, Beverly. Virtual hug to everyone. I hope you feel okay, Lady Leo. Thank you, sweet friends. Thank you for being here always, for the love, encouragement, and support to each other. You have no idea how much your words mean to people here. So know you're appreciated. We hear you, we see you, we appreciate you, and we miss you. when you're not here. We notice. We do notice, my friend. All right, sweet friends, have a beautiful rest of your evening. Shout out to all our other UK friends. I'll see you soon. Bye now.